All right, welcome. It is I, Raymond Modulin, a.k.a. the Real Estate Monkey, doing it to you one more time. It's Friday afternoon. It's a little late in the afternoon, but I didn't want to leave you guys hanging for the weekend. So what I thought I'd do is I put together some more stuff, and you know me and my lists, so get your pen and paper ready. Here we go. Let's talk about 7 uncontrollable things that affect real estate. Now, these are things that affect real estate that you really have no control over. I know that all we talk about is buying property and flipping it and leasing it and increasing your net worth, but you realize there are things that can affect the real estate that we really have no control over. So let's talk about them. One is the decline of the neighborhood. The neighborhood itself can actually decline and cause your property value to go down. And I'm talking about there are many different ways. You could have a number of foreclosures in the neighborhood. Something close could build, say they build a new water sewer treatment plant next door to your neighborhood. What about an adjoining neighborhood that has crime issues that spill over into your neighborhood? Or an apartment complex that has a lot of transient by nature people there for a year or 2 years that are not permanent that could bring in a crime wave. So that's one thing that you can't control. What about the adverse infrastructure? Somebody comes in and builds an airport, an interstate, all kinds of things that could change. They move the road around. Negative impacting things like water sewer plants we've already talked about. That's something that you have no control over. Government controls and regulations. Say they change the zoning in the property next to you to allow any kind of something that you would consider undesirable. How about they put a halt to some of the buildings in your neighborhood? Suppose they decide not to allow any more building permits to be built, and you've got a neighborhood that's only half built and half of it's vacant lots. Natural wear and tear in your property is something you just can't help. The roof, the heating equipment, the HVAC, the plumbing, hot water heaters, all of those things are wear and tear that you can't control. Now, you can fix them, but you can't control them. Supply and demand. Supply and demand is a very large one that we are in right now. We understand the fact as we sit here in the mid-December of the year 2010, our supply and demand is greatly shifted from what we had a number of years ago. The supply obviously is huge. A lot of bank-owned homes on the market, a lot of pre-short sales, pre-foreclosures. The demand has gotten a lot lower. A lot of home builders are now gone. That could have an adverse effect upon your property. The lack of proper maintenance. So, for instance, if you have a property that gets run down and the maintenance, you just don't keep it up. It goes left unchecked. All right? That could drive down the value of your property. Now, if your neighbor does the same thing, it could affect the value of your property. And the last one is obviously the pressure to sell. There are people that are selling their property around you that could drive your values down, that have a greater pressure to sell or a greater reason to sell than you do, therefore maybe making them sell at a lower price and driving your value down. So that's another item that you can't control. So there are 7 items that we just talked about that you really can't control that can drive the value down in your property. You got the declining neighborhood, the poor infrastructure, governmental controls, wear and tear, supply and demand, lack of proper maintenance, and the last one's the pressure to sell. So those are 7 items that you need to be aware of that you really don't have control of, but keep in the back of your mind, all right? I want to thank you for stopping by and invite you back next week. Don't forget, find me on the radio at FM 95.9 Freedom Radio in the Indianapolis area, or go live via simulcast to freedom959.com and click the live now. You've been listening to The Real Estate Monkey. We'll talk to you later. Bye.